you?
Terry.
All right. So, what brings you in today, Terry?
Weekly obligations. I do outpatient therapy every Friday. It's been one of my coping mechanisms for dealing with depression. I've been doing it for a few weeks now, so yeah, I'm here.
And how do you think that it's been benefiting you? Do you think your mood's different?
At first, I really wasn't too big on it, just the whole idea of therapy itself. But I think as time kind of went on and I got a little bit more open to it, learned some coping techniques that I've sort of added to my life. It's made things a little bit easier. So yeah, now it's going a little bit better.
Can you tell me a little bit about the coping techniques that you've been using?
Stopping and breathing, reflective thinking, positive thinking, really just sort of trying to slow things down and really put things in perspective. Focusing on a lot of positive things. I tend to be somebody that dwells on the negative, so sort of ignoring that has been how I've been dealing with it lately. It's worked so far.
Well, it's good that you're able to, identify those strategies. A lot of people have trouble actually putting it into those, so it's good you realize those. So do you mind if I just ask you a couple of routine questions? We do this for all of our patients in the outpatient clinic. Just a couple questions about tobacco use, if that's
Tobacco,
okay.
yeah, sure.
Okay, well, the first one is, do you use tobacco?
I do.
So you are a smoker.
I've had this conversation many times.
Oh, I'm sure you have. How many times a day would you say you smoke?
How many times a day?
Yes.
I smoke 2 packs a day, so
2 packs.
24.
There are 24 cigarettes in a pack, is what you're saying?
12, I think.
Okay.
Something like that. I don't know. I've stopped counting.
And what kind of triggers you to smoke? Is it a coping mechanism?
Yeah, it was how I coped before. Just depression. It really just kind of overwhelms you. So yeah, the way that I would deal with it is I would smoke. It'd make things a lot better. And since I've added counseling, I think they've kind of had an additive effect, and it's gotten much better.
All right. Well, have you ever been interested in quitting before? Have you tried?
A few times.
Tried a few times?
I've tried a few times.
What's happened with those?
Just crash and burn. I've did it once a few years ago. It lasted probably about a week and a half. And once the stress kicks in, it's just you completely relapse. And then my latest one was probably about 6 months ago, and that lasted a little bit longer, but still.
And so once again, did stress trigger you to pick up the cigarette again?
Yeah, it did. It did.
What were your motivations for quitting that previous time?
A lot of things. Didn't really like the way that it made me feel. It was making it difficult to breathe. Family history, my dad died at a pretty early age. He died at 66.
Yeah.
And he was a smoker. I believe it was lung cancer. So yeah, just family history. I mean, it's there. The evidence to make me want to quit is there, but I just haven't really had much success with it.
So if you were to quit today, on a scale of 1 to 10, how ready do you think you are?
Honestly, I'm probably not very.
So
I've tried too many times, and I'm really, at this point, maybe a little bit tired of doing it and just doing it to fail. So no, not very. On a scale of 1 to 10, maybe like 3.
So why would you rate yourself a 3 then, instead of, a 0 if you have no interest as of right now?
So I've done other things. I've done other things in my life. I've done pretty well with other things. So I'm not completely giving up on myself, but this just seems to be one thing that's a little bit more difficult than others. So I don't know. I've tried it twice. It hasn't really gone the way that I wanted it to, but I don't know. So yeah, 3.
Well, rating yourself a 3 instead of a 0, is actually a pretty good step towards progress.
Yeah. Did you have ideas for like quitting or something? Because normally that's what everybody wants me to do.
Well, what we can do is think of short-term goals, and I don't know if you've ever tried this in your previous attempts. Did you ever make any short-term goals?
Yeah, I make short-term goals, but lately I've just been doing like pros and cons, and it's just kind of, cons list is just, I don't know, it doesn't really seem to keep up with the pros.
What are your cons as of right now?
I mean, cons to quitting is just the physical things that I feel, right? I just got diagnosed with COPD recently, so now I can't breathe. It's very difficult. I use albuterol, which they told me is like a last resort for a lot of people with breathing problems, and it barely works. So that's definitely a con. But pros, I mean, I guess you really don't know how depression feels until you go through it. It's the only coping mechanism I've got right now.
Do you think that we can think of other coping mechanisms right now that you could do? Like, are there social support networks that you have, family close by?
Yeah, my brother lives in town, and his kids and his family, they live in town.
Do you hang out with them a lot?
Every once in a while, I get the chance to go over there, but they don't really like me coming around the kid because they smell like cigarette smoke.
So do you think that could be a new motivator for you to start quitting?
Thought about it.
You thought about it?
it.
Well, if you're willing, I think that it'd be really beneficial to make just short-term goals. It doesn't mean that you have to start quitting. You know, many times people make short-term goals just to reduce 1 cigarette a day, not even a pack, just 1 a day, slowly, and over time, those small steps, you know, you could eventually only smoke 1 pack a day.
Tapering, right? That's
Yes,
what they call it.
tapering. So, I mean, if you're interested in that, we can set that up. You could also try, are there any activities that you do, you know, instead of?
Play a lot of video games.
You play a lot of video games?
Yeah.
I mean, that could help. You can't really hold a cigarette with a console.
Yeah, it's a little bit tougher. I started running like last week, but I don't really know how I feel about it.
Running?
Mm-hmm.
Is it because of the shortness of breath?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think that quitting smoking could benefit that in any way?
Yeah, I would breathe much better, I think. Make running more fun.
So if you're willing, we can set up, you know, just short-term goals to meet by your next counseling appointment, which I am pretty sure it's next Friday.
Yeah, next Friday.
So
Friday
in about 7 days, what's something that you think that you could achieve?
7 days, it's a long time. Let's try this cutting back on a cigarette per day.
1 cigarette per day?
Let's do, yeah. The first few days I'll do 1 per day, and if I can cut back a little bit more, we'll do that. And I'll try to run a little bit more and see if maybe I feel better.
I've also, you know, you could hang out with your family more.
Yeah.
And that might help a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
All right. Well, are you interested in a follow-up appointment after your counseling next Friday?
Sure, next Friday.
All
If
right.
you got time.
Well, I wish you good luck.
Yes, ma'am.
And very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you also.